Larry Page. I'm co-founder and CEO of Google. I was at Stanford from 1995 through 98. I studied computer science. I was in the PhD program there at Stanford. I did not quite graduate, but I did get my master's degree. Well, it's actually a great argument for pure research, because we didn't start out to do a search engine at all. In late 1995, I started collecting the links on the web, because my advisor and I decided that would be a good thing to do. And we didn't know exactly what I was going to do with it. But it seemed like no one was really looking at the links on the web, which pages link to which pages. And computer scientists love big graphs, and this is like, right now it has like 5 billion edges and 2 billion nodes, so it's a huge graph. And I figured I could get a dissertation and do something fun and perhaps practical at the same time, which is really what motivates me. And so anyway, I started off by reversing the links, and then I wanted to find, basically say, who links to the Stanford homepage. And there's 10,000 people who link to Stanford, and then the question is, well, which ones do you show? So you can only show 10, and we ended up with this way of ranking links based on the links. And then we were like, wow, this is really good. It ranks things like, in the order you'd expect to see them. Stanford would be first. You can take universities and just rank them, and they come out in the order you'd expect. And so we thought, this is really interesting. This thing really works. We should use it for search. And so I started building a search engine, and Sergey also came on very early, probably in late 95 or early 96, and was really interested in the data mining part. And basically we thought, we should be able to make a better search engine this way, because search engines didn't really understand the notion of which pages were more important. If you type Stanford, you get sort of random pages that mention Stanford. This obviously wasn't going to work. It obviously wasn't going to scale.
Why does it work so well? I remember the first time, because it's only a search engine. You don't do other things. Google is not a portal. It's a search engine.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason it's successful, don't you think?
That, in fact, is the main reason it's successful. There are several technologies that we developed initially that made it work really well, and having to do with using the web as a whole rather than just what words occur on each page. But we quickly moved beyond that, beyond the first few technologies that we developed at Stanford. We hired up a research group, a really good staff of engineers. At the same time, the other search engines were stopping working on search. You can see now Excite. They're really questioning even if they're going to continue the portal, much less working on their search engine. Yeah. InfoSeek got bought by Disney, which eventually got shut down.
But make the point here, which is you went to both of them, did you not, at some point?
We talked to both of those companies, in fact, and even this was back in 96 or 97, and even then it was clear they wanted to be Yahoo. They weren't concerned about search. In fact, the quote from one of their CEOs is, if our search is 85% as good as the next guy's, that's good enough for us. And we really didn't believe that was true. We think, search is really important to people. It's how you get information, which is really critical to you.
And there are lots of people looking for a job.
That's right.
So you can find some talent out there with not the same kind of competitive rates.
Yeah, we get about 500 resumes every day. Yeah, so there's tremendous interest in people working at Google. But I think the bubble has actually, in some ways, been nice for us, because we've really been focused on core, making money, being pretty conservative about how we run our business.
Why were you more successful? Why is it that even Yahoo turned to you about a year ago as its search engine?
Well, I think they gave a bunch of reasons. In fact, David Fowler gave a bunch of reasons, saying that our search was much better. It's clear that we had invested a lot in search. We care a lot about search. That we had a lower cost basis, because we used lots of PCs, low cost PCs.
Yeah.
And that we had trajectory to stay better and improve even more than our competitors.
Search is all about getting more information to more people. One of the things that we've been doing is developing internationally really aggressively. We have interfaces in about 50 languages now. We have various levels of support sort of within those, including some translation features. So now, if you're Italian and you search for things on the web and you get back English language results, they get translated to you in Italian. So it's really about bridging the world. We also have Google available on all kinds of cell phones, WAP phones, iMode phones in Japan. So that's all about getting information to more people. The other side of things is we try to get more and more information in there. Like now the discussion boards, where we made the acquisition of the Deja Usenet archives. And that's 500 million messages collected over 5 years of people talking to each other.
So I think, I just kind of wanted to give you that example. I think we really underestimate a bunch of things. One is the magnitude of large-scale change. When you have these kind of major changes that are current technology, they kind of change everything. Computers are kind of changing everything. And so it's really important to try to hit that as early as possible. The other thing I've found is that, I was kind of shocked in thinking back, like, how long ago did we acquire Android? How long ago did we start working on that? It was a really long time ago. And it's only kind of just now having the really transformational impact of, hundreds and hundreds of millions or even 1 billion devices. And so I think we underestimate the large-scale change, and also as technologists, we're always way more optimistic. Oh, it'll only take a year to do. I'm super, optimistic in terms of how long it takes to do things. But when I look back at those things, they actually take a long time. And so what that tells you is that we need to start today.